whilst I do love both these systems and I follow them a fair bit, I have moved further on from this in the sense that there was still something missing for me. So I went ahead and I looked at essences, and Kitchener and Our Fashion Garden do some lovely work on essences. And I still, though, couldn't find my essence within all of that. I did sort of. Our Fashion Garden talks about the Coastal Lady and also maybe the Serene Wanderer, which I related to. But then when I got the little booklets that they sell, it didn't quite gel with me that I was that type. And it's interesting, I've got a group of friends who are all involved with style and experts within their own right. And we were talking about what drove us to do this work in style. We chat with each other pretty much daily, and we were saying, what makes us do this? And there were different answers, but for me it was, well, if I cracked the code with color and style, then I would look fantastic. And more than that, I would feel fantastic in everything. Everything would feel really easy to me. And it's then that it dawned on me, when I went back to some of the work that I used to do with Myers Briggs. I used to spend a lot of money with Myers Briggs assessments. In my life before I retired, I ran an advertising company. So I used Myers Briggs a lot, particularly with recruiting staff, to figure out the best management for them and to also figure out what jobs were going to be best for them based on their Myers-Briggs type. So I've gone back and looked at Myers-Briggs. You know what? That was really insightful in terms of understanding human nature. So maybe instead of looking outwardly at your style lines and your body shape and your coloring, maybe it's important first and foremost to look at what your personality is, to look at how deeply you think about things, how deeply you feel about things, or how important it is to be around people and have that extroverted energy, or how important it is not to be around a lot of people and to have, a small amount of personal relationships and have the comfort of your own home and being in that safe space. So these things are all very integral to how we operate in the world. And so it doesn't matter what style lines I have. I, in fact, could feel really nice about a dress that I wore to my nephew's wedding because it was the right lines and I looked in the mirror and I felt happy. But long term, the biggest issue is that there are things that are going on in your thinking or in the way that you feel things, and the rest of you needs to catch up to it. What you wear needs to match with your inner world. Or even what you wear needs to match with how you operate in the world. If you're very extroverted and you're bouncy and you're with people and you love their energy, if you wore something really tight and restrictive and almost very analytical and precise, and you're not that type, you're going to look so incongruent to other people, but more importantly than anybody else, you are going to feel so incongruent. My channel is called Ness Kim Style, and the catch cry is emotionally intelligent dressing. And what I mean by this is that your outer world needs to match your inner world. And when I say inner world, I mean what you're thinking all the time. If you don't match that, you're not dressing emotionally intelligently. And if you don't dress emotionally intelligently, you will always feel off. There will always be a piece missing. And you will always be trying to fit in with somebody's notion of what you should be wearing. Now, you might say, well, isn't that the case with Myers Briggs? Because you're still trying to operate within a certain type. They're telling you that there's 16 types. Because you don't have to fit into somebody's particular type, but The Myers Briggs types, I really do think, give you a lot of insight into how you can work in your world. So let me give you an example. There are certain things that I constantly berate myself about. For example, if I'm really honest, I think that I would possibly be very happy having 2 tops and 2 pairs of pants and then washing every few days those items. And I'd just be happy with that. But it's interesting that I would be running a style channel with such a notion. But I've only been able to face that notion about myself recently. I've only realized that I actually would do much better with a very minimalist wardrobe. Possibly about enough for 7 days. I'm more than happy to put on a wrinkled top. But inside of me, something says that's just not caring. That's not what somebody that runs a fashion channel wears. That's not someone that runs a fashion group on Facebook wears. You have to, be constantly wearing the latest things. Dressing like that is not emotional intelligence, because it doesn't fit with actually what's going on in my head. Now, when you understand the Myers-Briggs type, and I'm an INTP, you'd understand that this type needs a lot of time to think and does not want to be disturbed in its thinking. So things like cooking, cleaning, washing, or even what to wear takes up too much time thinking about those things, which the person does not want to do. Because what this type of person does, and this is what I do, is I'm always looking for new ways to solve human problems. And one of the problems that I've had is this whole styling mess. It's this whole thing of clothes, what to wear, what colors, what style, what lines. You see the videos I've done, and the chats in the different groups that I'm in, and it's just a lot, right? And it's every day. And when you realize that actually I don't want to be thinking like that. I want to have the interaction in my groups, but what I want is to be very easy with the clothes. And that means linen that's already creased and is supposed to look creased. Hair that looks messy and it's supposed to look messy.